Next question. If jiu-jitsu is not locally available, what would be the next best martial arts choice or the next best thing? Or is the one-way 70-mile drive worth it? Thank you. Meaning it's not locally available. It's 70 miles away.
That's a long haul. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of other available martial arts. I would say you got judo and wrestling, and those exist in a lot of places that jiu-jitsu doesn't exist. So wrestling, judo, sambo, those are all good options, great options. You can find a catch wrestling school. There's definitely some options. Find a good grappling, but a real grappling school. What you want to watch out for is a place that says it has karate, kung fu, and jiu-jitsu. You want to watch out for that place because that means the guy just put that up there because jiu-jitsu is getting popular.
Yeah.
So watch out for that guy.
And that one's pretty like across the board right there. I mean, I can't really imagine many exceptions where it's like, like all the other ones and jiu-jitsu, and it's a legitimate jiu-jitsu place.
It doesn't happen very often. Now, you might have a place that says boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Probably legit because you've got legit boxing, legit wrestling, legit judo, and legit jiu-jitsu. So you go, okay, that's cool. True. That's probably true. But when it's non-legit things and they throw jiu-jitsu on the end of it, watch out. And whenever I'm talking about jiu-jitsu, I'm talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I just got to make that clear. Talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, not other forms of jiu-jitsu. So be careful of that.
You know what, though? I can't. In the spirit of fairness, there very well could be like, because a lot of these guys they'll have this vast background in like Kempo karate,
you
and then
be careful.
some other
You're
stuff,
right.
and then they maybe 15 years ago they got jiu-jitsu.
No, for sure.
Meanwhile, they're traditionalists, but their jiu-jitsu knowledge is legit.
That's why I said just be careful of it.
Yeah.
Just be careful of it.
That's my bad right there.
And most people, if 15 years ago they started taking Brazilian jiu-jitsu and they got their black belt, their Tai Chi, Quan, whatever martial art is not on the list of what they teach at their school. It's gone, actually. If they're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, they're teaching Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And they don't say Brazilian jiu-jitsu plus Bokan Quan or whatever. They don't say that. Gotcha. They're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And if they do it, I actually am going to question it.
There are some questions.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's questions. Again, can there be a legit person? Yes, there can. There are some legit dudes that are, black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they're a black belt in some other traditional martial art that they took before that. That does happen. Yeah. Most of the time, when they realized that the white belt or blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu destroyed them and their martial art that they'd studied for 10 years, they don't put that on the list anymore.
Right.
That's what it does to most people. So that's why there's questions.
Yeah, questions.
There's questions. So, yeah, wrestling. What I know I'm missing, and I apologize, folks out there, if I'm missing, but wrestling, judo, sambo, catch wrestling. Those now, if there's no kind of grappling, then boxing, Muay Thai. That's your next best option, so that you're still learning how to fight. You just aren't getting the groundwork, and you definitely want to get the groundwork at some point. Yeah. So, and then the question on the 70-mile drive, I get this a lot too. Some people, they have no martial art in their area, and they have jiu-jitsu 70 miles away. What should I do? My vote in that situation is get some mats at your house, get 2 or 3 of your friends that want to learn how to fight, start watching YouTube videos, and once a week, on the Saturday, go down to that jiu-jitsu school. When we were training back at Fabio's back in the day, there was people like that. They lived somewhere in the desert of Southern California. There was no jiu-jitsu. They worked 9 to 5, and then on Saturday they'd come out and train, and that's what they got. And they'd go home and work on their drills with their 3 guys that they were driving 80 miles to come and train on the weekends. So that's a method of doing it too. You can train on your own with your buddies on the mats that you get and watching YouTube or whatever online mechanism you want to use. And then once a week you come and you make the trek and you learn and you get to train with other people and you see where you're at.
Yeah, dang, that's good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, the next best thing is I guess it's some total matter of opinion, but I feel like wrestling, like if you went, wrestling is like a really good tool It depends on what you're doing. Like why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for a self-team. Yeah,
wrestling is awesome.
Yeah, I know that. That's the thing.
Wrestling is awesome.
Yeah.
Wrestling gives you such a massive advantage, not only in jiu-jitsu but in life.
Yeah,
it gives you an advantage. So wrestling is awesome. That being said, judo is awesome too. Yeah. And if you train, but there's more of a variation in judo schools, right? Yeah. And a high-end judo school, those people are awesome. And that's a great martial art. And you learn groundwork, you learn takedowns. It's a great martial art. No question about it. There are some weak judo schools, though. Judo has a little bit of a tendency to, sometimes judo people can adapt some of the traditional martial arts attitude, including the attitude of we're not actually training. And so that has happened, but that's less. That doesn't happen very often. So yeah, if you can find a good judo, the way you find if it's a good judo school, go and put on a gi and say let's fight, or let me train with you. Yeah. And they're gonna put you they're gonna take you down and be able to work you over. That's what judo is. Judo is very similar to jiu-jitsu. Very similar to jiu-jitsu. So judo is a great thing to have. Wrestling is a great thing to have, for sure. Sambo is awesome. Sambo is actually like judo and wrestling together. So Sambo is great. Same with catch wrestling. Again, catch wrestling is a little less. With catch wrestling, you're a little bit more apt to find somebody that doesn't actually know what they're doing, and so you have to be careful of that. There's some phenomenal catch wrestling schools, though, for sure. Yeah. So,